They called her the Love Goddess. Movie screens lit up whenever Rita Hayworth appeared, and she became a timeless Hollywood icon. Her luscious hair, dazzling smile, and remarkable dance skills entranced audiences around the world. Yet beneath that polished exterior lay a childhood marred by abuse, a series of damaging relationships, and a devastating illness that was misunderstood for decades. Rita's on-screen charisma was rivaled only by the turmoil she faced off-camera, an endless quest for love and a fight against powerful men who sought to control her every move. In this video we explore the life of a woman who shined brightly, yet suffered silently. From her earliest days in vaudeville-inspired dance halls to her final years battling an unrecognized disease, Rita's journey reveals Hollywood's most glaring truths about exploitation, resilience, and the hidden price of fame. Rita Hayworth was born Margarita Carmen Cancino on October 17, 1918, in Brooklyn, New York. Her father, Eduardo Cancino, was a noted Spanish dancer who had once performed as part of a renowned vaudeville duo. Even before Rita knew how to read or write, her father made dance the center of her world, expecting her to rehearse until her feet ached. While other children enjoyed games and friendships, Rita's schedule revolved around relentless practice sessions and nightly performances. By the time she turned 12, Eduardo pulled her out of school entirely, ending her formal education. Sadly, that was not the worst of it. He channeled his frustrations, from failed ventures and gambling losses, into verbal and physical abuse directed at his daughter. Crucially, Eduardo's behavior also crossed into sexual abuse, a betrayal that shattered Rita's sense of safety at home. With no authority stepping in to protect her, she resigned herself to a life controlled by a domineering parent who saw her only as a means to regain his own fading stardom. Despite the traumas of her youth, Rita's undeniable talent paved her way to Hollywood. Initially cast in minor roles, her dancing and striking appearance caught the attention of industry insiders. But the Hollywood she entered was rife with strict beauty standards that demanded women fit a narrow mold. When Harry Cohn, the powerful head of Columbia Pictures, saw promise in her, he wasted no time in reshaping her image. He insisted on changing her name from Margarita Cancino to Rita Hayworth, deeming her Spanish surname too ethnic for mainstream success. Studios often went to extreme lengths to craft a marketable persona, and Rita was no exception. Through electrolysis, her hairline was painfully raised. Her naturally dark hair was dyed a flaming red. A regimented diet was enforced to reduce her curvier figure. This transformation was sold to the public as glamour, but for Rita it meant losing vital parts of her heritage and enduring constant scrutiny. Underneath the glitzy marketing campaigns, she grappled with the knowledge that to remain employed, she had to accept every imposed change, no matter how invasive or hurtful. Desperate to escape her father's cruelty, Rita made a hasty decision. She married her manager, Edward Judson. Much older and just as domineering, Judson saw in Rita a lucrative opportunity. He pushed her into cultivating relationships with producers and studio heads, pressuring her to use her looks and charm to advance her career and his earnings. It was a cycle of exploitation, echoing the dynamics she endured at home. When Columbia Pictures recognized Rita's potential, Judson capitalized on it by negotiating deals designed to maximize his profit. Rumors swirled that he even encouraged her to entertain powerful executives socially, blurring lines between genuine networking and something far more disturbing. Rita tried to comply, haunted by memories of her father's abuse and fearful of what might happen if she refused. Ultimately, Judson's controlling grip became too much. She divorced him, but only after signing away much of her earnings to buy her freedom. Although she briefly tasted independence after their split, the pattern of falling for manipulative, self-serving men had begun, a tragic thread that would continue through her life. Shortly after cutting ties with Judson, Rita encountered a new kind of man, the charismatic and intellectually brilliant Orson Welles. Revered for Citizen Kane and his groundbreaking radio plays, Welles was instantly captivated by her beauty and star presence. They married in 1943, and for a while it seemed Rita had found a kindred spirit, someone who cared more about her mind and heart than her image. Eager to please him, she devoured the books he recommended, championed his political ideals, and immersed herself in his theater crowd. Yet, Welles was notoriously restless, often retreating into his work or seeking other women's company. Rita, struggling with the emotional wounds of her past, clung to the hope that a child would mend their bond. She gave birth to their daughter, Rebecca, and tried to create a stable home life. But Welles's wanderlust and romantic dalliances proved insurmountable obstacles. By the time he cast her in The Lady from Shanghai, their relationship was already cracking. Changing her red hair to a stark platinum for the film enraged Harry Cohn and confused audiences. And when the movie flopped, it seemed to underscore their mismatched worlds. Disillusioned, Rita filed for divorce in 1948, forever recalling her time with Welles as both the happiest and most heartbreaking period of her life. Barely free from one tumultuous relationship, Rita found herself swept off her feet by Prince Ali Khan, a wealthy playboy known for his devotion to high society events, thoroughbred horses, and beautiful women. She was still mourning her marriage to Welles, but Khan's relentless courtship, luxurious gifts, and grand promises proved difficult to resist. When she finally agreed to marry him in 1949, tabloids hailed it as a real-life fairy tale. Hollywood's love goddess, becoming an actual princess. Behind the scenes, however, trouble brewed. Ali Khan's affinity for late-night parties and flirtations with other women created an atmosphere of jealousy and despair for Rita. She gave birth to their daughter, Yasmin, hoping motherhood might bring stability. But constant rumors of Khan's indiscretions only heightened her anxiety. Rita confronted him repeatedly, her insecurities amplified by memories of previous betrayals. Within a year of their wedding, their relationship unraveled. Fearing yet another cycle of heartbreak and dishonesty, Rita fled Europe with her infant daughter, initiating divorce. Despite the glamorous photographs of them attending galas and social events, the actual marriage was another painful chapter in Rita's search for genuine love, leaving her even more disillusioned about the men in her life. After her high-profile split from Ali Khan, Rita tried to anchor herself in Hollywood again. She sought acting roles that would re-establish her credibility and financial footing, especially as she wrestled with the emotional aftermath of another failed marriage. Yet destiny placed her in the path of singer Dick Haymes. Known by some as Mr. Evil, Haymes was deeply in debt and struggling to revive his career. Naively, Rita believed they could help each other, but instead she found herself paying off his mounting bills. His temper flared when creditors circled, and there were reports of violent altercations. One infamous incident ended with Rita nursing a black eye in public, a final humiliation that forced her to walk away. Seeking solace, she turned to James Hill, a producer who seemed supportive of her desire to tackle more serious film roles. At first, the professional partnership looked promising, but Hill's cruel outbursts at social gatherings revealed yet another toxic dynamic. Even actor Charlton Heston, present at one of Hill's tirades, later regretted not intervening on Rita's behalf. Thus, in the span of several years, Rita's personal life deteriorated into a series of heartbreaks, each leaving fresh emotional scars. By the 1960s, Hollywood and the public began noticing unsettling changes in Rita's behavior. On set, she would forget lines, lose her temper, or appear disoriented. To many observers, it seemed like she had become a heavy drinker, labeled an alcoholic by tabloids. In truth, her increasing confusion, memory lapses, and bouts of depression were early signs of Alzheimer's disease, a condition still poorly understood by the medical community. Doctors, at the time, often dismissed such symptoms in women as nerves or substance abuse, never thinking to explore deeper neurological causes. As the disease progressed, Rita felt isolated, compounding the fear she already carried from her past. She sometimes did turn to alcohol for relief, but that only masked and exacerbated a much more complex problem. Without a correct diagnosis, she felt shame for reasons she couldn't fully articulate. Columbia and other studios steadily withdrew offers, citing her unreliable behavior. The once shining star of films like Gilda found herself sidelined, misunderstood, and heartbroken, mistaken as yet another cautionary tale of a famous actress undone by too many martinis. When the world turned its back on Rita, her daughter Yasmin Aga Khan became her anchor. Recognizing that her mother's confusion and memory loss had a deeper cause, Yasmin fought to secure the best medical advice and a stable living environment for Rita. As an adult, Yasmin provided the emotional warmth Rita had never found in her romantic relationships. Under her care, Rita found moments of peace she had rarely known. It was Yasmin who finally pressed for answers from the doctors, leading to the eventual discovery that her mother had Alzheimer's disease. Although late in coming, this diagnosis allowed Rita to receive more targeted support. Yasmin's devotion also brought media attention to a condition that, until then, was largely neglected or misunderstood. In a sense, Rita's final years demonstrated the love she had sought in vain from so many men. Only now it came from a devoted daughter whose compassion never wavered. The bond they shared underlined a powerful truth. Sometimes genuine love and understanding emerge only after everything else has fallen away. Even as her condition worsened, Rita Hayworth left an indelible mark on Hollywood. Her sultry performance in Gilda remains iconic, and her dance numbers alongside Fred Astaire are still celebrated for their effortless grace. Yet, her greatest legacy might be what happened off-screen. By the 1970s and 1980s, as Rita's illness became more visible, the media's coverage of her plight sparked a broader public conversation about cognitive disorders and elder care. In many ways, Rita served as an unwitting ambassador for Alzheimer's awareness, at a time when even the medical field was largely uninformed. Following her passing in 1987, Yasmin founded the Rita Hayworth Gala, an annual charity event that has raised millions of dollars for Alzheimer's research. Today, the actress's name is intimately tied to a cause that affects millions of families worldwide. Through her own suffering, Rita helped illuminate the struggles of countless patients overlooked or misdiagnosed by society. Her story is not just one of glamour and heartbreak. It's a roadmap of resilience, showing how a single life can influence a much-needed shift in medical and cultural understanding. Rita Hayworth's life was a dramatic tapestry, woven from childhood horrors, studio-driven reinventions, and desperate quests for love in all the wrong places. Despite these burdens, she emerged as one of the most radiant figures in cinematic history. Her performances brimmed with a confidence she never truly felt in private, masking the pain wrought by broken marriages and her father's early betrayals. As Alzheimer's slowly stole her memories, it also revealed a poignant irony. The woman whose image defined an era would become an emblem of a disease that erases identity. In the end, her daughter's unwavering devotion allowed Rita a semblance of dignity, and the recognition that she deserved far better than the hands life had dealt her. Even decades after her passing, she remains a beacon, reminding us that true strength lies not only in surviving immense adversity, but also in using one's story to drive compassion and progress. Through her cinematic legacy and the crucial awareness she brought to Alzheimer's, Rita Hayworth continues to shape the world she left behind, leaving us with a final, enduring message. Every star has a hidden story, and sometimes that story can help illuminate a path for others.